All right, guys, welcome to the Divij podcast. We got an amazing episode today. This one I'm very fucking excited for, and I've been wanting to have him on for a minute. If you guys have been seeing FBoy Island, obviously it's all out. Actually, no, we got 4 episodes coming out. 4 coming out August 12th, which is my birthday, and we're having a crazy party. But I want to welcome today's guest, Freaky Deaky Nandiski.
Hey, talk to me.
What up, bro?
Hey.
Welcome to the pod.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to be here. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it. There's a lot of things we need to discuss, go over, expose, and it'll all happen here today in Div's Den.
Let's go. So, bro, what's crazy is you and I knew each other before the show. Which is crazy, and let's tell them the story about the airport, bro. You want to tell them? That shit was funny, bro.
The airport story is the funniest story. So usually when you get casted for a show or anything really that is filmed and going to be released at a later date, you sign an NDA, you sign all these contracts so that you can't spoil what's going to happen. And so right before we left to go to the airport and even begin filming, we signed contracts saying, we can't tell anybody who, what, when, where, why, how. Yep. So in order to get to our destination, which was the Cayman Islands, we had to fly from LAX to Miami. And I get to Miami, I'm at baggage claim, and Div walks up to me.
Because I spot you from the back. You have a very noticeable head and hair. And I was like, and I see the Olympic backpack. I'm like, bro, that's fucking Fernando.
Exactly.
So I pull up, and I'm like, yo, Fernando, like, what's good, bro? And you, bro, like, your reaction was like so nonchalant. You were like, you were almost like, why are you talking to me right now?
I know, I felt superstar.
I was like, what, bro? Like, why aren't you hyped to see me? And then we end up, on the plane.
It was crazy. Div came up to me and started chopping it up, and I was like I wasn't like shaking or anything, but I was like, damn, like I can't even say much. Like Div was like, yo, like what's good? What are you here for? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see my family. We're all taking a family trip here in Miami.
I believed you too.
And Div's like, bro, I'm on a TV show. I'm like, Div, you just gave up everything.
Yeah, I'm not really good at following those fucking rules. But then I see you on the flight, and I'm like, oh, like, no, duh, okay. And we ended up sitting next to each other on the flight, and we talked about it. So I was like, okay, it's not, he doesn't hate me. It was just the fucking, he was just following the rules, and I'm an idiot.
God damn it, being a good person.
Yeah, literally. So, all right, so bro, fucking so much to talk about. So we end up in the Caymans. We land, right? Beautiful fucking place. You got
amazing.
What was when you got on the flight? How are you feeling? Because there's 26 guys full of testosterone. Like, man, what's going through your mind?
When I got on the flight, the first thing that came through my mind was that I was told the preferred group is supposed to come 3 days earlier, and I couldn't because of work. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, let me just go the original date that they said. So when we got to the airport, there's all dudes there, and I was like, damn, maybe I should have been on the preferred flight. Maybe there's,
the girls or
with
whatever.
The girls, I'm like, maybe there was like 20-something girls on the preferred flight. Like why are there so many guys here? And so when I got there, I was like, all right, this is the competition. We're sizing up everybody. Everybody's talking, even though we're not supposed to be.
Right.
But, we just found up saying like, all right, like this guy's cool, just trying to see who our competition is going to be. And when we got to the Caymans, like it was just a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Their government had everything down to a T in terms of how to regulate the whole COVID situation. They had us in quarantine, could not leave our rooms, meals delivered, could not go to the door until
prison.
No, it wasn't that bad. We had top quality meals.
We did.
They were delivering us the best of the best. They treated us really well for people in quarantine.
Yeah.
So shout out to them for that. They did it very well. And only freedom we had was our balcony.
Crazy.
Just get some vitamin D as long as you can.
Yeah.
Look at the pool, the roosters that wake us up every morning. And just not chop it up with the guys around you, but chop it up with them.
Right. Like we're talking but not talking. And it was a 2-week process. We obviously didn't have a gym. So how was that for you? Because you're obviously you lift a lot.
Not having a gym was one of the worst experiences of my life because for me, exercise is a safe haven. If I need to clear my mind, if I need to think of something, if I just need to get my mental straight, I know I can just work out and it'll be good. And I found myself doing those tacky Instagram, just make your own workout type of thing. And I was just like, yo, like I watch these videos and know these don't work. But now I actually know they don't work.
Right, because you're fucking doing them and Do you feel like in those 2 weeks, do you feel like your physical capacity had changed or do you think you held it down? Like,
In those 2 weeks, I definitely lost weight and leaned out. I mean, I'm used to eating over 3,000 calories a day, lifting 2 to 3 times my body weight. And I was literally just doing high knees, running in place, doing A skips, B skips, jump ropes, push-ups. I was squatting my bag, which was maybe like, I don't know, 50 pounds or less.
Damn.
And I'm used to squatting over 500. So it was a complete difference for me.
Shit.
I mean, the abs were nice, thank God. But like, I mean, that didn't last very long either because of the circumstances when we got out.
Right.
But in regards to quarantine, I mean, it was nice. I just wish I had more food.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Luckily, we could get groceries and shit, so we had some opportunity for that.
Oh, for sure.
So okay, so I see you there. We're chilling like in quarantine, and then things start to move, right? So we're starting to get on the fucking show, and we find out a couple days before we leave quarantine that there's only gonna be three women. So what the fuck? Like, what's going through your mind, dog? Because I know I was tight. I was like very much upset.
So we spent our first 14 days there in quarantine. Like, we had no idea what was going on, and they graced us with the liberty of having electronics just so that we can pass the time by. But we obviously couldn't give up any details, any location, anything like that.
Yeah.
And so once that 14-day period ended, after countless COVID negative tests being provided, we were finally out of quarantine, and they took all of our electronics, bum rushed us, surprised us. We knew it was coming, but still. And they gave us our official contracts.
Yeah.
And the first title said, you know, it was funny. Mine said, "Welcome to Lord of the Bros."
That's what it said.
And I was like, yo, what the hell did I sign up for? And then it says there's going to be 3 girls and 24 guys. And I'm just like, yo,
bruh.
Like, is this the Bachelor? Like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't even know I signed up for this. Like, I'm not trying to compete with all these clowns. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. And I just keep reading it and reading it and reading it. And the more and more I read it, the more and more my smile goes and goes and goes. And I'm just like, damn. So now I think everybody finishes at the same time.
Yeah.
And we all just walk out on the balcony. We're like, son, yo. Like,
just all depressed.
Everybody's just making all aches and pains and noises. And we're just like, damn, like, what do you think the girls look like? You think there's a Spanish one? You think there's a black one? You think there's a white one? Like, we're just trying to figure out anything. We're like Build-A-Bear workshopping these women.
Trying to put them together.
Yeah, we have no idea, you know? And so now we're all like, all right, well, now we know we're all each other's competition.
Yeah.
And even in and during and before quarantine, the producers were like, don't give away too much. Like, you don't know what's going to happen on the show. You don't know what we have in store for you. So you don't want to give as much of yourself as you think you can and should.
Right.
You know, I mean, because we were next to each other every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week throughout all of quarantine. So, like, it's easy to just be chilling outside. The weather's nice, but just spark up a conversation. And so at that point, you know, it was game on.
Facts.
We started doing our intro interviews, and we just started getting into the mix. And maybe another week after that, we were finally out of the hotels on set.
Such a good feeling to be back, like, in fucking just the world, bro. And the Caymans are such a beautiful place. Like, we had the beach, all this shit. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Even to walk around without a mask on, it was such a refreshing feeling.
It was very refreshing.
It was so new, and it was just like, oh my God, like, you're walking into a grocery store. You're like, oh,
where's my mask?
Exactly. It's like, no, just welcome.
But see, that's the thing that people maybe don't realize is, like, we were in COVID for a year, like solitary fucking confinement, and now we're coming onto a dating show where we're just hit with like all these dudes around us, right? So for you, was that like mentally tough at all, or do you feel like you pushed through it?
I mean, look, during COVID, like, it was difficult. Obviously, you couldn't meet women in the same capacity at all. Yeah. So, you know, you were doing whatever it took. And I remember when quarantine first hit back in March 2020, and I had just gotten my groceries, so I was straight. But maybe like 3 or 4 weeks when I started running low and I went to the grocery store, like, I was looking at girls and I felt like I was just a savage. I was like, oh. Like, I was like, yo, there's women everywhere. Like, this is the first time I've seen a girl in like 4 weeks. Like, right. And so coming out of quarantine and going into this situation, plus the added effect of being on a dating show, I was on go. Yeah, I was ready
for that shit.
Exactly. I was not really trying to waste any time. I didn't want to, like, you know, chop it up with the bros. I wanted to see the women, and I wanted them right now.
Yeah, facts.
You know, they were running down the rules and everything, and
Yeah.
like they were just like, you can't do this, can't say this type of thing, and you know, somebody's asking, can we have sex? And I'm like, bro, there's all dudes everywhere.
So funny. I think that was Cameron. Fucking dumbass.
I'm like, yo, like what? Like, damn, people trying to get active that fast? Like,
Yeah.
I bet. You know, at this point, we had no idea the show was called FBoy Island.
No clue.
But already characters were already coming to light, and
Yeah.
so that was pretty cool. How'd you feel about it?
I felt good, man. I was going through some personal shit at the time, so I was like coming in kind of like not mentally there fully, but we pushed through, and you know, it ended up how it ended up happening, and I feel fine about it. But so we start filming. Episode 1 happens.
Yeah,
You know, that first night at the pool. How was that night for you? That first night?
Man, that first night was different. Like we all went in there hype and just ready to party. You know, like we had spent all day filming the intro. It was hot. We were sweating. We were doing retakes. Like there's so much behind the scenes things that people don't know about reality television that I respect everybody on set now so much more.
Yes.
Like just the producers, the audio visual, the cast, like it takes a lot to go through it.
It's a lot.
And so it was a grueling experience, but by the time the night came, you know, I was ready to get loose. I was ready to get active.
Yeah.
Like as you guys know, since the first episode is out, like I didn't get a wristband, so my mission was to get that. Like I was like, you know, I'm used to being VIP. I don't know what's happening right now. You know, maybe the heat got to him. I don't know, but I got to put it on.
Yeah.
And once the party happened, I was like, man, it's like 8 guys talking to 1 girl. I'm like, I'm never in this situation.
Never, because
like,
you and I, we're used to going to Warwick, and we'll be at a table with 30 girls, 40 girls, and 2 dudes. It's just like it's the complete opposite situation here.
Exactly, man. That was such an eye opener, honestly. Just from going to being like, you know, the top of the top, the cream of the crop, to now the roles are reversed. Like, granted, women always have men trying to pursue them savagely, you know, but now it's like a do or die situation. Like in the real world, like if you go out and don't talk to anybody, I mean, like that's on you, but like it's all right, you know, you can just go home and chill. Like here, you're going home and you're done. If you don't, you don't make that impression. You don't do what you have to do. You're out of there, man. And like we didn't know about Limbro or the good guy, the nice guy Grotto. Like we were just like, if you do not make that impression and make that move, you're gone. So you got to do something. And so the first night for me, I was like a little thrown off. I was just in the group conversations, and I was like, damn, like when should I pull her? When should I pull her? When should I pull her? And at this point, it was just Nakia, Sarah, and CJ, and like I had built no rapport with anybody, obviously, since the first night. But I was just like, damn, like should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And then slowly but surely, you know, I just kind of watched the night unravel, and me just like not make
it didn't happen.
Move.
So you didn't have any conversations that first night?
I did, but they weren't substantial.
No, it's okay.
No. Like I started slow that first night. You know, I went to after we finished that, I went to sleep and woke up. You know, I had to be a new man. You know, I started running on the beach. I started, you know, doing some jumping jacks.
True.
There was a wooden gym set.
Bro, that shit had me so tight. So tight, bro.
You know, they were saying they were gonna build a state-of-the-art gym set, and like I was mad excited. You know, I had no idea what to expect. Maybe just at least a bar and maybe a 45-pound on it. It was all tree trunks.
Dead ass.
Oh man, that shit was disappointing, but we had to make it work with what we could. But like I was saying, I had to just get my mind right, just exercise and do what I do best, so that like whatever the show throws at me, I'm ready. You're prepped. I'm just gonna take it. Yeah,
facts. So we get to elimination 1. When I pull up, I'm nervous because I'm like, fuck, I didn't really like. I had conversations, but it wasn't there was no one-on-ones. So in my mind, I'm like, fuck, like we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Were you in the same boat, or did you feel confident going into the first elimination?
The first elimination was the only elimination where I legitimately had real concern, because the first night was a shit show.
It was a
like
shit show.
Everybody was, you know, having fun, but it was like a lot of observation and what's going on, and we hearing dinosaurs being called and shit, like
pterodactyl.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck is that?
So we're all just like, yo, like what's gonna go down, you know? Because obviously it's very valid that if you did not make an impression, you can go up to be going home. Yeah, you know. And so I just think that at least from the women's perspective, that if you were in the group convo, introduced your name at least, then you might have
You're
gotten a
good.
pass, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so when the eliminations came in, the ladies were saying, you know, I just don't know who you are. That's what solidified that
Facts.
theory for me.
Thanks.
But then also during elimination, I was thinking, how is this whole game going to play out in regards to if we're each supposed to go for these ladies and they can each nominate 2 individuals to go home?
Yeah.
How is it going to work in the sense that, like, if you just want to go for one person, the other 2 can still nominate you? You know, like, they have a
Right.
very valid reason to say,
Right.
you're not giving me attention, so
Right.
I'm going to send you home, even though her friend could be talking to you. You know,
Facts.
so, like, I was just thinking of things like that and trying to figure out how I should move and where I should go and what I should actually try to do.
Right.
You know, I didn't want to play it safe, but I also didn't want to be too aggressive and just get the boot too early.
Yeah.
So that was my mentality.
That's interesting. Who caught your eye early on when they first came out that first night at the villa or the date in the villa? Who caught your eye?
I mean, all the ladies, they were very
Gorgeous.
beautiful, of
Stunning.
course, you know, and like I said, like coming out of quarantine, you know, anything, you're just like, ah.
Yeah.
But nah, like I said on TV, man, Nakia, like, she really had it going on. So I was like, if anybody, like, for sure gonna try to
Nakia.
get to know her, like I
Yeah.
had to. And so that was just my obligation off rip that, like, I owed to myself and
Yeah.
her because I know what I bring to the table.
Facts. Yeah, for me it was Sarah initially, and they didn't show a lot of the shit that I thought they were gonna show that actually happened.
Yeah, I feel that way.
But it's all good. So we get Peter, Garrett Powers, who does the poem shit. 'Cause he's
Yeah.
a fucking fool, and then I love him. And then Dietz, bro. Dietz, I actually feel like should not have gone home because he didn't even get a shot. Like, he really didn't even get a chance.
Did he talk to anybody the first
He
night,
talked to
though?
Sarah once, bro, but it wasn't like a real conversation. Like, so
Who eliminated?
Sarah.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
That's
And then-
probably why, because she didn't have the initial spark, she said.
Yeah. So that happened. So okay, so we're safe, right? I'm happy.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, we go home. I think did we turn up that night? Did we have like a party?
After elimination, we just toasted
Went to
with some
bed.
champagne and then went to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to bed. Then we have the water balloon fight. I think that was like the next big group kind of date.
Yeah.
I think you didn't get the date from there, huh?
I did not. No. I mean, there were still so many of us.
Yeah.
And a lot going on. I think that was after the ladies had their first dates, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because
It
then
was.
they got the golden conches for like the chill part later.
Yeah.
But the water balloon fight. I mean, Nakia, she already knew who I was. She picked me. I obviously wasn't first, as y'all know, but like I wasn't stressing at all. You know, I knew I just had work that had to be done, especially since I started slow the first day. You know, first impressions are last, and so like if I messed up at that beginning, I just had to make sure like I was on that uphill battle.
Yeah.
And I was gonna keep fighting no matter what happened. But we were all chopping it up with her. It was a good time. She's very easy and sweet and outgoing. So like that made it really comfortable for me.
For sure.
And I'm not gonna say we were cheated from that water balloon fight, but we were on a downhill slope and had this small corner of the triangle.
Right.
So it was pretty messed up. But no,
Yeah.
it was a great time. We had fun doing that. I think everybody did, you know.
We did. It was the water balloon fight was a good time. Then we get elimination 2. I'm obviously gone. I'm out of there because of fucking Chris, you fucking snake.
No. Let's talk about that, bro. Like, all right, so like we're seeing the show, right?
Yeah.
And we have no idea who the snake is, da-da-da-da. And like the only thing that we know about somebody like snitching or whatever is after the guys come back from their dates. You know, like who was it? Garrett and who else had a date? It was Garrett, Colin,
and I forget the third
and
one.
somebody else.
Yeah.
And so the two people, they come back really happy, right? And we just start grilling them in the hot seat in the hub, and we're just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And then Colin comes back. He comes back all mopey.
Tight.
Yeah, he was not having it. And we thought he was going to come too, but he went right into his room, you know.
Yeah, he does.
He pulled OG Jared in there to talk to him. At the time, they were buddies. And so my initial thought was that, you know, either he was going to call him out or he felt that he could confide in him. Turns out it was the one that he felt that he could confide in him.
Yeah.
So after that, he went to go like try to just see and just talk to who he thought would have called him out. So
GP.
so at that point, none of us knew that it was actually Chris spilling the beans.
Of course it was Chris.
And then you know, just talking like the guys talk
Yeah.
every day
Literally.
about the reckless shit.
Exactly.
You know, you're just saying, you know, what's on your mind about CJ. Wild, but still.
Probably shouldn't have talked that shit. I'm sorry, but you know.
You shouldn't have,
is what
man. She had all the power.
I know, but she didn't confront me. That's the thing. She never like, and I guess she didn't owe that to me, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been nice if she was like, Divij, like, did you say this? Mm-hmm. I didn't get that opportunity, so.
I thought it was funny when on the show they like showed you saying it.
Yeah, actually, because I denied it at elimination. She was like, I heard you said this, this, and this, and then I mouthed it. I was like, that's not true. But they fucking showed the clip of me saying it, so obviously I'm a liar.
Boy.
Yeah, I guess
so. But I had no idea that Chris was the rodent at the time. But I thought it was funny that she had a speech written out. And you told her that like she looked like she couldn't read, and she was like, "Well, lucky for me, there's audiobooks."
Yeah,
I was crying. She's funny, man.
She is funny. She's very witty. She's got her responses on lock.
Mm-hmm.
So I go home. I'm tight. You're having the time of your life because you're moving the fuck on.
I mean, yeah, made it past week 2.
It's great. It's an accomplishment. So week 3, what's going on? Because I wasn't there. So tell me like what the fuck is happening? Like,
so week 3, we're still doing the same shit, you know. We're just like chopping it up in the middle, waiting to see what happens. You know, the guys are trying to, you know, starting to form the factions in regards to, all right, who's gonna be number 1 for this girl, number 2, number 3, da 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 da. People are like, all right, at the end it's gonna be me, him, and him, or this, and this. And I'm just sitting there watching. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, don't say too much, don't react, don't give them too much, because like, if I give into any of that energy, it's going to throw my game off. And I already know that, like, I have a hill to climb myself. And I didn't want to give into it. And so I just let the guys talk. You know, it's just guy talk, barbershop talk type of shit.
right.
And we go on to the next date, which is the next, like, group date, which is a photo shoot.
Right.
Which is really nice. And, man, oh, man, we had a call time at, like, 8. Left at 10. Sun was right in the middle of the sky. We were there. Hot, sweaty for like 3 hours waiting to actually like film it.
Yeah.
Then the filming took maybe an hour. We weren't getting patted down, nothing. Like I was like, yo, what's happening today? Then we find out it's going to be a photo competition where we all take photos with the girls and the ladies. And I'm like, all right, bet, you know, like this is my time. Like, because I had been talking to Nakia, but like now I can like actually see what happens when like we break the touch barrier, but not in like a forced way, you know. It's like to look good on camera. And I had already told her, I was like, look, like I'm looking for somebody where like, you know, I want to hold your hand. Like I want to flex you in public. You know, I want to put you on the gram, you know, put you in my story, shit like that. Like I was spitting game.
Let's go, Nando.
So, you know, like for me, it just followed suit.
Yeah.
You know, and so in my group, there was myself, Colin, OG Jared, Kevin.
New Jared, right?
Yeah, well, he came
in.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So everybody's in their perspective group with the women, and then, you know, Nikki Glazer says, you know, we're going to introduce 3 new cast members. And she says fresh meat. So I'm like, all right, well, I know it's not girls.
Right.
And then we got New Jared coming in with Welcome and Jomar.
And New Jared came in hot.
Yeah, New Jared came in hot. And I saw Nakia liked him off rip. And then it was confirmed when she chose him. You know, and what they didn't show on TV was New Jared comes in, and he comes and look at us, and he just calls us clown, stands right in front of us, and then holds Nakia's hands.
Really?
And, like, they didn't show that, and that is what set off OG.
That's where the beef starts.
Rip. That's where the beef started. He was just not having it. He wasn't happy about that at all.
Yeah.
Like he came in hot, but, like, we all looked at each other like, yo, what this man just said? You know, like, we were just like, nah, we not letting that rock. So now we all trying to fight to, like, stand in front with Nakia while this man's doing his thing. And so the photo shoot competition happens, and, you know, it goes well. But, again, just like how it is at the house, you got to fight for your spot.
You have to.
You know, so like, for instance, she called somebody forward first to take photos with. And then, you know, you have to be like, all right, bet, like, your time's over, sunshine. Like, it's my turn now. You know, you got to go
Step up.
Exactly, and enforce that authority. And so, like, that was happening. And, like, we all got our time with her. And then, you know, as we were switching off, like, OG and New Jared, they were just chirping. Like, it was just bad blood ever since New Jared had called us clowns. And, you know, that just brought all the heat and hostility back into the house.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were chilling, waiting for the ladies to arrive, and that's when all of it just starts blowing up.
Just going crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like all the beef really started because we see at elimination Matt and Garrett. We see that dynamic. We see OG Jared and New Jared's dynamic. At the time, were you team OG Jared or were you team New Jared, or were you just like I'm chilling, like I don't give a fuck about this?
At that time, I didn't have any gripes with anybody.
You were kind of cool in.
Yeah, I was cool with it. I was just watching to see what happened. I was like, you know, this is good television.
Yeah.
And like nobody's like pressed me yet, you know.
Right.
So I was like, you know, there's no reason for me to just chime in. So I just watched.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, like I'm one of the bigger dudes, so I wanted to be there in case anything did pop off.
Right.
So that night, I believe I had spoke to Garrett about his situation with having a girlfriend back at home, coming on the show, and like I saw he was falling for Sarah, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see where his head was at, and we had a real conversation. He was like really upset at me for calling him out, and I didn't want to kick him while he was down or anything, but I just wanted to let him know that like if he does like her like that, you know, he needs to act and perform a certain way.
Right.
Like you can't just have girls on your Instagram and tell this girl in front of you like her, and then like
I don't get why he wouldn't delete that shit before he came.
I know, but it was a learning lesson. You know, he was down, and like from there he rose. He learned from it for sure. Like I saw him progress through the whole show. I was proud and happy for the man. But anyway, so that happened that night, and so did the argument between the Jareds. And you know, new Jared was new. He didn't know what had to happen, but like everybody hated this man. But I was one of the people that told him, I was like, bro, like. You don't know this because you haven't been here, but you have to fight for your right. Nobody's going to give you a chance to talk to her. I promise you right now. And since you came in like that, you're not going to get a chance to talk to her.
Because everyone hates you probably.
We're going to box you out. I'm going to tell you right now. You know? And so he just took that, and that's why he had got up, you know, and was like, excuse me, I want to talk to her. And then they were arguing while they were standing and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's how that happened. And I think Nakia, she liked that.
The conflict fighting over because it's attention.
Of course, you know, she didn't want it to be too serious, but she just was like, damn, like I'm a wanted woman, you know, and that's what really like got her happy in that situation. I feel like, but that shit was wild.
It was wild. So then we get to elimination, and obviously Matt is out of there, and he goes crazy on Garrett. What's going through your mind when he's spilling all this shit about Garrett's like girlfriend at home, the hose, like?
No, that was episode 2?
No, it's 3.
Was it?
Yeah, I was episode 2. Me, Charlie, and Israel was episode 2.
Shit. Okay.
Matt, Mark, and someone else was episode 3.
Okay,
yeah.
so I had the Garrett conversation after this.
After this, okay.
All right, word. All right, when Matt was spilling that tea, so from my perspective, from being around the villa and the cottages, I was like, well, I know they're always at war. Him and Matt were bickering. It could have been, you know, just like older brother, younger brother, you know, some frat type shit, or because they were both going for the same girls. You know, I didn't know the origin of it, but like I just knew that they always were at war. So when Matt did it, I wasn't surprised he did it, but I was surprised at what happened.
Right.
You know, like I was like, damn, like how did he get this info? Matt had captions, he had dates, times, receipts. He was like, you know, he posted this photo with her 4 weeks ago, and we were in quarantine 2 weeks ago. Right. I was like, oh shit, wait a minute.
Like, kid is wild, bro.
I was like, damn, like that's OD.
Yeah.
My jaw was on the ground, like my heart stopped because first of all, going into elimination, your heart rate's on max.
It is, bro.
And so like once you're safe, it comes down. But then he just brought that right back up. We were all shook. And he just started throwing everybody under the bus. He was like, Garrett got a girl, you know, Greg got a girl. And everybody's like, what?
Like, what?
That was the funniest thing to me because it was such a guilty who, in terms of everybody. Not saying like they had a girl, but like it was the way that how they reacted.
Their responses.
It just looked so sus. And I was like, man. And like that wasn't even a producer move, you know, like that's not what they had in store. It
just happened that way.
And so like up till now, the cast had been given all the drama that they didn't even account for. I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm like, yo, like we haven't done any real twists or turns that they set up. Like everything's been us and it's already been freaking wild.
Yeah.
Like freaking wild. I'm like, yo.
It's crazy, bro. And also we had Jamie go home that episode, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, Jamie went home that episode because he wound up just talking too much about his past
life.
And it rubbed off the wrong way to Nakia, you know.
I think that's a learning lesson for all the guys watching this. Like because I just went through this. Never talk to your girl about your ex, bro. Don't even bring up the fucking, like, don't ever bring the ex up.
I mean,
ever.
I think there's levels to it though. Like you can, but
depends.
like I was there for that convo. He had it in a group setting. And
I was
like,
right next to him. I heard it.
It was like 20 minutes of him just talking about his ex-wife, and like
that's something he should have done with her one-on-one,
in
bro.
private for sure. But even like had just shortened it down.
Make it concise, bro. Yeah,
exactly. For sure. Because I mean, like, like you could always have love for somebody, and like, but there's a learning lesson from it, you know. Like, facts. I think maybe she just took it as maybe he's still holding on. But Jamie was my dude ever since quarantine. Like
Jamie,
our rooms are right next to each other.
It's Uncle Jay. You guys, on the other hand, have to now go through this whole dancing thing with fucking the girls.
Right.
Are you a good dancer, bro? Like, what's going through your mind?
I mean, right now, this is when everybody find out I'm freaky deaky nandeezy. You know what I'm saying?
The hips move.
The hips don't lie. The hips don't lie. And so that's when we do our dance. You know, Team Nakia wins, and it was pretty obvious, you know, like we all had the same amount of time to work on it, but I was just the most choreographed, the most funny. And of course, at the time, like all the ladies hated Garrett, and Nakia kept on pushing him in the pool, take after take after take. And so it was just fun. And Nikki loved it. And that was that. We won that.
I saw the dance with Cameron and Aunt Sarah or whatever.
Man, that boy was crazy. He brought out the Chippendale days.
Yeah, him and Sean were doing Chippendales.
Yeah. They killed it. They were studs in that.
They bodied it.
They
But Cameron was out of there though.
Yeah, Cameron got eliminated after that. R.I.P. Cam.
Yeah. So obviously I think now we're in episode 5. How's your relationship with Nakia kind of developing?
My relationship is developing really well. I mean, it's not as fast as I'd like, but it's still happening, and we're having real deep quality conversations. Yeah. We're talking about family, things that interest us, where we want to go in life, where we see ourselves. And a lot of the things that I think, she thinks too. So we're like, oh, we not only like align, you know, on a physical level, but now like mentally as well. So like, those are key things that you need in a relationship, especially in order to grow. You know, I'm coming from a place of, you know, I know what I've done, and I know where I am, and I know where I want to be. Yeah. And she's on the same page. So I'm like, all right, you know, this is working really well. However, it's still a competition, and I still have to give her the chance to know these other guys. I'm not giving it to her. You know, they're going to take their chance, obviously, as y'all see on the show. But it kind of sucks to just have to share your woman, you know. But I'm still in this competition, and I feel comfortable at this point.
That's good.
I'm not even tripping.
Yeah. That you didn't really have any beef, because I remember when I was there at one point, Greg had like interrupted one of your conversations with Nakia. I don't think they showed it.
No, I had no beef with Greg. Greg was always one of my homies there. Yeah, we never
That's good.
We never went head to head.
That's good. So then we see. I'm glad your things with Nakia are going well. Then we see some beef happen with Colin and OG Jared.
So we do the douche tank episode, right? And Nakia asks both of them, like, why are you better than the other? And they couldn't give an answer, you know? And, like, I just think they just didn't want to step on each other's toes because they were friends, but she didn't like that, you know?
No, of course
not. So that episode, they didn't show it, but me and Greg capitalized the shit out of that episode.
Did.
They were out of the game. We boxed them out.
Let's go.
And then, you know, the next time we, like, you know, huddled around in the center, you know, I had called out OG, Jared, and Colin on some things that they were saying, because after that douche tank episode, Nakia had chose Greg to stay over for the nightcap. And they both felt some type of way about it. They were saying this shit, and I was like, yo, like, why don't you bring it to light? Tell Greg the shit you were saying about him, and, you know, let us all know how y'all really feel about Nakia. And they didn't like that, you know? They wanted to press me. They wanted to, like, you know, yell and shit and be upset. And I was just like, yo, like, just, it is what it is. Yeah. Like, just say what happened, you know? And so at that point, after I started saying my piece, I think that's when Colin realized, oh shit, because he was developing feelings for her. That's when he realized, like, okay, Nando's actually here for her for the right reasons. And like, him and OG talked all the time, so he was like, damn, OG's saying he wants to be here for money, for followers, for this and this. He's like, I'm yelling at the wrong dude. So after that, that's when him and OG start having war, because Colin's like, wait a minute, I'm my energy's going to the wrong person, you know. So now he's like, I gotta get OG out of here. Like, he's actually, this girl's falling for him, and he's like, you know, just toying with her from Colin's point of view. And so like, that's when they had that argument, and you know, me and Greg and Colin were all like, we need to make sure Nakia is okay.
It's good, yeah.
Like, because we all, you know, see each other all the time, so we just had to make sure that shit was all right.
That shit was good, yeah. That's crazy. Bro, I think we're going to have to do a part 2 with you on. Because we have a lot more to talk about. Obviously, I think we got through episode 5, but we got to wrap it up. Episode 6 is out, so we're going to, when you come back, we're going to talk about that. And then obviously the rest of the show will be out August 12th. We got our fucking joint birthday party coming up. It's about to be a movie. You're August 13th?
13th.
I'm
Friday
the 12th.
13th, baby.
Leo gang.
Demon
we're going to have
season.
a crazy thing. And we'll have you back on, bro. So thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you?
Everywhere, Nandeezy, Nandeezy.
And you guys can, make sure you go follow him. Follow the podcast, Divij's Den. Follow me on Instagram, Divij of Aswani. Watch the fucking show because the shit is wild. 4 new episodes coming out. It's 4?
Yes.
4 new episodes coming out August 12th.
Yeet.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. Damn, we need more time.
I know. I mean, we both got